Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the sheer madness of the 2026 World Cup final. We're going to unpack exactly how Spain pulled off that tense 1-0 victory over Argentina. It was literally a match that had the whole shebang: a tactical masterclass, an absolute brick wall of a defense, and a post-match ceremony that signaled a massive, massive shift in global football. Here's what we're looking at today. 1. Messi's dream ending in tears. 2. How Spain choked the legend. 3. Martínez putting up a historic Argentina wall. And 4. The coronation, Rodri, and Trump's moment. Let's kick things off with Section 1. Messi's dream ends in tears, the emotional climax.
You know, we really have to start at the absolute emotional peak of the night, looking at the crushing disappointment felt by Argentina and, of course, their talisman, Lionel Messi. For a guy who has given literally everything to the beautiful game, seeing how this match ended for him, man, that visual is going to be etched into football history forever. The Argentine press really hit the nail on the head, tragically calling it the end of the dream. Newspapers like Clarín described how right after the final whistle, Messi greeted a couple of Spanish players, and then he just sat down, completely alone on the pitch. He took off his boots and, as they put it, swallowed his pain in silence. At first, he was incredibly stoic, but then, as he walked past the trophy and the fans just started belting out his name, the 39-year-old legend broke down. He finally burst into tears. It was just an incredibly raw, deeply human moment.
And honestly, what makes those tears hit even harder is the context of his entire tournament. Think about this. Going into this fateful night, he had racked up 8 goals and 4 assists in a record-extending 6 World Cup campaign. I mean, that is just insane. He wasn't just along for the ride. He was the absolute orchestra conductor for Argentina, which, of course, makes his sudden silencing in the final match all the more gripping.
Moving on to Section 2. How Spain choked the legend, the tactical masterclass.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth did Spain actually manage to shut down one of history's greatest players when he was in such red-hot form? Well, let me tell you, it was no accident. It was a highly calculated strategy. Spain's manager, Luis de la Fuente, pulled off an absolute tactical masterclass. He knew exactly what a threat Messi was, and his game plan was flawless. Spain used this relentless, coordinated high pressure to completely snip the supply lines to the Argentine captain. They didn't just put one guy on him. No, they trapped Messi in this intense collective double marking. Every single time he looked for a tiny pocket of space, boom, a red shirt was right there, suffocating his options.
Now, just look at this number. 54. That is shockingly low. Messi touched the ball only 54 times in the entire match. To really put that into perspective for you, he only managed a measly 15 touches in the whole first half. And get this, not a single one of those touches was inside the Spanish penalty area. By systematically isolating him like this, Spain completely neutralized Argentina's most dangerous weapon.
And the ripple effect of this was just catastrophic for the Argentine offense. Because Spain's midfield maestros were absolutely suffocating the pitch, Argentina became completely isolated. With forwards like Julian Alvarez totally starved of service, the reigning champions didn't register a single shot attempt. Not one. Until the 120th minute of the match. Just let that sink in for a second. 120 minutes of world-class football without taking a single shot.
Okay, so let's look at how this tension finally boiled over. After a grueling, incredibly tense 90 minutes ending in a 0-0 deadlock, the match tipped heavily. Just into extra time, Argentina's Enzo Fernandez got sent off with a second yellow card after a reckless challenge on the 19-year-old Spanish defender Pau Cubarsí. Suddenly, down to 10 men, Argentina was gassed. They just couldn't hold the line. Literally seconds into the second half of extra time, minute 106, Ferran Torres slotted home the magnificent decisive goal. Game changer. This right here gives us a really stark visual of the passing of the torch. If we look at these match ratings from The Guardian, the contrast is huge. And it really speaks volumes about the shifting future of the sport. You've got Spain's midfield boss and recent Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri, pulling a massive 9 out of 10 for just imperiously controlling the game. Then there's the 19-year-old sensation, Lamine Yamal, earning a solid 8. On the flip side, we see the real struggles of the Argentine squad. Messi got a 6 for a really quiet night, and Enzo Fernandez was hit with a 3 after that super costly red card.
All right, Section 3. Martínez, a historic Argentine wall. The historic resistance. Now, you gotta give credit where it's due. Argentina absolutely did not go down without a spectacular fight. Their offense might have been shut down, but their defense, they put on a monumental performance between the posts. Facing an absolute siege from Spain for over 2 hours, Emiliano Dibu Martínez was a total titan. Look at this. He recorded an unbelievable 11 saves in the final. 11. That completely obliterates the previous World Cup final record, which was just 8 saves.
Seriously, this broke a record that had stood untouched for 32 long years. We're talking all the way back to Gianluca Pagliuca in 1994, matched by legends like Phil Ohl and Banks before him. So yeah, despite the heartbreaking loss for his team, analysts have completely solidified Martínez's performance as one of the greatest individual goalkeeping displays in football history. He was pretty much the sole reason Argentina stayed in the game as long as they did.
We should also quickly talk about the officiating, because, they were under immense pressure. Referee Slavko Vincic walked away with a passing grade of 6 out of 10 from the analysts. He got a lot of praise for correctly navigating the pure chaos of this final. He made that tough, but definitely correct call to send off Enzo Fernandez, and he correctly disallowed a Spanish goal by Nico Williams due to a foul. His firm grip on things really prevented a super emotional match from spiraling totally out of control.
Finally, Section 4, Coronation, Rodri and Trump's Moment, the viral coronation.
So the trophy ceremony itself was essentially the crowning of a brand new era. This victory officially cemented the rise of a new Spanish golden generation. On one side, you have this teenage sensation, Lamine Yamal, proudly taking the mantle of world champion at just 19 years old, right alongside the seasoned dominance of Rodri. And then, beautifully but kind of tragically too, this is juxtaposed against the heartbreak of the departing 39-year-old Argentinian veterans who were forced to stand by and watch this new era begin.
Now, things got pretty interesting during the actual trophy presentation in New Jersey. According to reports from the event, Donald Trump, who was part of the ceremony, stayed up at the front of the podium even after he had officially handed the World Cup trophy over to the Spanish team.
And well, that led to a highly discussed viral encounter. With the former U.S. president remaining right there on stage, Spanish captain Rodri actually paused the whole celebration. He held the trophy, and he intentionally waited for Trump to depart the stage before he would finally raise the World Cup into the air to celebrate with his squad.
And the tension wasn't just with the players either. Viral footage analyzed by the media showed Spanish official Iglesias walking past the podium, and he quickly shook Trump's hand without even making eye contact. It was a really widely talked about sequence that just added this whole unique footnote to Spain's glorious celebrations.
So what does this all mean for us? Ultimately, it was a night of absolute tactical brilliance by Spain, legendary broken records by Emiliano Martínez, and some unforgettable viral moments on the podium. We are clearly watching a huge shifting of eras in the global game where high-pressure collective systems are taking the reins. But as the confetti finally settles and a new Spanish golden generation takes the throne, it leaves us with one massive lingering question. After an incredible career and such a devastating loss, is this the final, heartbreaking chapter we'll ever see of Lionel Messi on the global stage? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to keep questioning the beautiful game.